Okay, welcome to Gru, and thank you so much for taking time out of your day and coming
Of
on the show.
course. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Definitely, man, definitely. And the first thing I wanted to start out asking you is I see you wear so many hats. Like you write, you direct, you produce. Like, how did you get involved with doing all that?
Oh man, how much time do you have here? No, I just started doing it at a really young age. My parents had a video camera. We had a dual deck VHS player in my brother's room, not to date myself, but I'd always have kind of the camera and would just be messing around and doing fun little videos with my friends. And then that kind of progressed to doing it a little more professionally, I think in college, and then went to grad film school at NYU when I decided I want to do this. This is what I love. So yeah, that was kind of the progression. But when I was young, I used to like always this little kid holding this giant camcorder back in the day.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah,
that that must have been heavy carrying around, huh?
very, very.
So, there's a new thriller film out, and Ryan King, I believe, is the one who wrote the film. Like
Ryan,
how?
yeah, and Ryan not only wrote, Ryan's a great guy. He not only wrote the film, he actually kind of quasi lived this story. Ryan, um, smart guy. He decided to get some supplemental income by tutoring in New York City. So he got a bunch of like wealthy establishment and kids that he was tutoring in New York City, and lo and behold, they had some sort of inspiration or effect on him. I know he got treated very kindly in some circumstances and not so kindly in other circumstances, and kind of took that latter part to make it into kind of like this dramatic thriller of a story that pulled essentially some bits from his own experiences.
Well, I hope he didn't have someone like Noah that coming around his house is all.
I don't think it went that far, but certainly he had a few stories he told me, and some of those little bits made it into the film, like what people said to him, what they called him, and how they treated him. So he had some pretty wild circumstances. Yeah.
Oh my God, I could only imagine that. So, what inspired you to want to come on for the film and direct it?
Yeah, yeah. Well, certainly Ryan's passion, enthusiasm, script, and experiences. Like that's just, he spoke firsthand for that. Um, Secondly, like when I read it, I just immediately had this visual idea of like making it similar to movies I loved growing up. Movies from the 80s, the 90s, like these, not horror films, but sort of these like slow burn, kind of dramatic thrillers where you don't know who the protagonist is, you don't know who the antagonist is. It's kind of like Jagged Edge, where you're wondering the entire time. And then certainly like when Garrett came on, he was the first person to kind of jump on board. He's just such an amazing actor and talent that like, I mean, that's a no-brainer. Everyone should be so lucky to have Garrett in their life.
Definitely, definitely, yes. And, and for anyone who don't know about the film, can you tell us a little bit about what the
Sure.
film is?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the brief synopsis is Garrett plays a tutor to privileged New York City kind of youth. He takes on a client who's paying him a lot of money, and he thinks it's going to be an easy gig just for the weekend. And then this individual he takes on named Jackson, who's played by Noah Schnapp, brilliant actor. He essentially starts to manipulate him both emotionally and physically and psychologically to the point where it's a game of cat and mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's it in a nutshell without giving away too many details. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, of course. See, I'm still stuck in the work yet, so I haven't had a chance to see the film. But as soon as I'm done work, I'm going home and
Go.
watching
What are you doing? Let's go right now. And
it.
it opens in theaters. It opens in theaters, select theaters nationwide today.
Oh, nice. Okay. Okay. Sweet. And so, what did you like most about filming this?
That's a good question. Nobody has asked that because no, it really is. I mean, look, making a movie's hard. It's a lot of work and a lot goes into it. And, we filmed in Alabama for New York. That was tough in its own right. Alabama's a beautiful place, but looks nothing like New York. So I think just working with really collaborative, amazing people, and especially our actors, all of them. I can go on and on about just what a pleasure it was to work with like Garrett. He's really talented, and Noah and Victoria, but really like every single actor we had came prepared and came with ideas, and it was just fun. It's a fun experience to go make a movie that like, you're trying to make something entertaining. You're not, at the end of the day, we're not trying to make this, political or social point. We're just saying, hey, listen, this is a good little film. Go check it out.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. I was actually going to ask that next. Is where did you film at? But you said it, Alabama, and
Filmed it in Alabama, yeah, and there's some beautiful places. I mean, filmed in and around Birmingham and in and around Alexander City, which is on this amazing lake.
oh,
And so yeah, we filmed in Alabama, and the goal from the start was, how do we make this look like New York
yeah,
City, Long Island? So it really took some kind of like creative thinking of camera angles, right? Like if you shoot
okay.
straight on, you're seeing the world and you're seeing these streets that have zero people and no taxi cabs. But if you kind of go a little lower angle and you're shooting up, then you're looking at buildings behind people, and all of a sudden, like, yeah, we could cheat that. We can buy that.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. I was in Alabama once. It was like a little tiny, tiny part of Alabama called Dothan. I wrestled there. I used to do like pro wrestling.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, it was like this little town in Alabama, and not a lot of people live there. And I'm wrestling.
Yeah. Alabama's a great, amazing place. I will say the weather's tricky. A few times while we're filming, it'd be beautiful, clear skies, and they'd say there's a storm coming through in 20 minutes. We got to shut down our generator because there's lightning nearby. And you think, really? And then lo and behold, 20 minutes later, it's like crazy rain, crazy storm, crazy lightning. You're shut down your lights and your power, and you wait for it to pass.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, no, but it was good. It didn't listen. Luckily, we got lucky. Like everything worked out well, and we got a free. I guess when that happens, you get your streets and your pavements wet down for free, so you save some cost there.
And was there any scene from the movie that you probably had the most fun shooting?
Um, I'm trying to think. I'm going back in my head through the entire film. I will say that there's this opening montage for the film that was a lot of fun to film because there are these really brief snippets,
Oh,
and it's Garrett tutoring a handful of different kids.
okay.
In that process, like there was a lot of getting what was scripted, and there was also a lot of Garrett is a bit method, and he's in character, and he has flashcards of just kind of like on the fly him doing his thing. And so he's like, we're not going to tell this kid. I'm really going to start throwing some questions and let's see how it goes. So, I don't think people were expecting that, but it's good because
Yeah.
then all of a sudden he's embracing the role, and these kids and they're answering how I said, just listen, answer how you normally would if you were being tutored. And they were right with it too.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah.
And Noah Schnapp is on like the biggest television series in the world. And like, how did you guys wind up getting him for the film?
I mean, he was always someone that was just a dream cast, and we got him the script, and he read it, and he liked it. It was a fun little part. It was different than what he was accustomed to playing, but also lived in this kind of like dramatic, nostalgic noir world where he can kind of like really embrace something deep and go to creative places that maybe were a bit unexpected. And so, yeah, he jumped on board. He was such a pleasure to work with. And like I said it before, but he comes in, he's a senior in high school, he's
Yeah.
17 years old, he's obviously a pro, it's been doing this for so long, majority of his adult life, but like he's a kid.
Yeah.
And he's incredibly talented. like beyond, like if you just think back to like when you were 17 or I was 17, like certainly didn't have the gravitas to like come in, shot number one, drop a single tear, and like
Yeah.
be really grippy emotional, you know. And he's able to do that time after time.
Yeah. When I was 17, I wasn't as level-headed as Noah is.
I don't think many, if any, are. Yeah. He's got a really bright future ahead. He's smart. He's really intelligent as well.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, Was there any like funny or cool behind the scenes stories that happened while you were doing the film?
I don't know if this is cool or just novel, but there's a mansion that plays an integral part in our film. And we actually, a few of the cast and a few of the crew actually live there. So we all lived together for this like week, which was completely probably not normal. And it was also really great because you wake up and you see, you know, I'm staying, you know, next door to like Garrett's room, and we wake up and maybe
Yeah.
we'll do a quick workout and we'll talk about what we're going to film that next day, and then we'll walk around the house and figure out where we're going to shoot it here, and those sorts of things. So that was definitely novel and something that I don't think wasn't planned, but it made life easier.
Okay, okay. I would love to spend a week in like a big
Yeah.
mansion or like a castle or something like that.
It was beautiful, honestly. It was a great. I wish we could have enjoyed it more. We were so in like work mode at that
Of
point that
course.
we, you know, we had the opportunity. Um, we got invited to go out on like a little boat, you know, because it's on a lake, or to enjoy like some of the classic automobiles and motorcycles that the homeowner had, but we just didn't have the time. So hopefully one day we can make it back there and do that stuff.
Hey, you
Take
never
out some.
know. If you guys make a part two, you could go back there.
You said it. You said it, not me, but I'm for it.
And what kind of songs do you like? Like, what's on your playlist?
Man, I like so I have the benefit of having older siblings, a brother and two older sisters. And one of my sisters worked, she's a lawyer. She worked in the legal department of Virgin Records. So you used to give me all the time just stacks of CDs, right? Like before music was digital. So I would listen to everything. And I really mean that. Like I love classic rock. I love music that my sisters listened to because they were always playing like, you know, the Go-Go's, the Bangles, whatever around the
Yeah.
house all the time. So I think everything from like 50s, 60s on, 70s, 80s. I mean, I love it. I used to listen to a lot of rock. I mean, everything from like, I'm not even kidding when I say my sister's type of music to the Beatles, to the Beastie Boys, to Metallica. I mean, I like it all.
Nice, nice.
Country, I like that too. I like it all.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you were out doing karaoke, what would be your go-to song?
That wouldn't happen. I have a fond appreciation for watching karaoke. There's a spot kind of near where I live where people go up
Yeah.
and do it. However, I will say, because you know, I've lived in like Los Angeles, New York City, like any karaoke spot I've ever been to, there's like people who do it for fun, and then most of the people who get up there are like doing it for fun, but also quasi professional, and they're just amazing. So I know my limits.
Yes, definitely. Same. I would never
Yeah,
attempt to go up if a bunch of people are singing like they have a music video out.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
What was the last song you heard that was stuck in your head, like a song you keep singing all day?
Hmm. I don't know. I don't. I listen to so much music, and I listen to music like no, I don't. I mean, probably the classical music that I have in this film is what has been stuck in my head the most in the tutor,
Okay.
only because I've seen it so many times and I've listened to it so many times. So we have some like pretty incredible classical music that's famous that you'll hear and go, oh, I know that song. I know that score. So because I've listened to it so much, like that that has really kind of been ingrained in my head for this past week.
Okay, all right, all right. And I'm a big horror fan, and I always like asking guests this when they're on. I mean, especially the film isn't horror, but it's thriller. Like,
Sure.
do you have any horror films that you love watching?
Yeah, I mean, one of my first bosses, the guy who actually gave me like an internship when I was in college, wrote and created Scream, the initial one. So like that was really, his name's Kevin Williamson, amazing individual, so supportive and so talented. And so, but like because he had done that film and then done, as you know, many after,
Yes,
it was just, yeah, I mean, it just had such an indelible like moment in probably like my psyche that like that film always comes back to me of like it's incredible, and it subverts expectations by like taking, in the initial one, the most famous actress in the film at the time and killing her off minute 4, right? And all of a sudden as an audience you go, wow. So that's definitely one I think is great.
Yeah, I actually remember going to the movie theater to see the movie. Like, I'm dating myself now, but
Yeah.
but when Drew Barrymore gets killed in like the opening scene,
Yeah.
I was in shock. I'm like, who's gonna be the final girl?
It's so smart. It's so smart that they did that too. Great casting. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And what about sports? Are you a fan of sports at all? Do you like
Huge,
watching?
huge fan of sports. Was yelling at the TV last night because my UCLA Bruins lost another heartbreak March Madness game to Gonzaga. Yeah. No, I love college basketball. That's my jam. I mean, I love pro football and baseball and NBA as well, but like March Madness, like this time in my life, to have this
Yes.
movie coming out today and also have March Madness, that's the old dichotomy for me, balancing act.
Oh my God, yeah, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And, and I'm going to ask one final question, and
Sure.
then
Yeah.
that's it. Like,
Yeah.
is there any band or artist that you love going to see live?
I wish you would have asked me this a few years ago. I saw Tom Petty's last performance at the Hollywood Bowl
Oh
before
my
that.
God,
And
that's awesome.
that was iconic because I've always been a fan of him, his
Yeah.
work, his music, and his performance even was like amazing and top notch. So the fact that like I got to see that live and one of those last performances there, that's special and that's something I'll probably always remember.
Oh, I love it. Nice. Where could fans follow you at?
Well, they can definitely go see the movie. That's first and foremost. Not big on social, but that may change soon. So if it does, I'll let you know.
Okay, perfect. Well, thanks so much for taking time out of your day. It was really nice meeting you.
Oh, it's a pleasure
Thanks
meeting
for
you. I
doing
love the questions. Yeah.
it. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that.
I could go watch the movie. What are you doing here? You should be go.
I I shouldn't be working, right? I should just
No.
leave work and go.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It was a pleasure talking to you. I really appreciate your time.
That definitely, buddy. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
And peace.
All right. Bye.